How are we all doing today here on this very, very toasty Tuesday? I am Josh, and holy smokes, it is going to be a hot one here today. It is going to be a relatively short show here today. Got a lot of other stuff got to get done throughout the course of the day. Before that, just a quick shout out. The Media Club will be having a little meeting here today in the Ed Beatty Lounge at noon. Hope to see you all there. Also, happy Barbenheimer week, everybody. It is time, the cinematic event of the year. I had talked about doing it, and I'm going to do it. I actually have the tickets. I am pulling a Barbenheimer this Sunday. I'm not going Friday. I work, and by the time I get off work, it's too late anyways. I wouldn't even be able to do one of the movies. Saturday, I also work. Sad face, but hey, we all need money, especially me because I just bought these tickets. Sunday, starting at noon, I'm going to be stuck at the movie theater for almost 6 hours. It's going to be insane. So my first movie that I'm going to do of the two is I'm actually going to do Oppenheimer first because it is a very long movie. It's about 3 hours long. And I chose to do Oppenheimer first. Some people are doing the true Barbenheimer where they're doing a Barbie first and then Oppenheimer. I'm doing what some people are calling an Oppen Barbie, because I'm doing Oppenheimer first and then Barbie. But I chose to do it this way just because of the length of Oppenheimer, because that's a lot of time that I just have to have blocked out. And then also I figured since Oppenheimer is, obviously a much more somber, a much more serious film than Barbie is, I figured I'll get through the heavy stuff first, because obviously it is an emotional movie. If you do any reading into Oppenheimer's life, he had quite an interesting life, quite a harrowing journey, even after building the bomb and just everything that he had to live with after that, knowing that he was the man that gave mankind the tools to essentially finish the job. Basically, if enough people in power get angry enough, they can push the button, send those weapons into the air, and that's that. Being the man that was basically responsible for this happening, that's got to be an utterly insurmountable amount of just weight on your shoulders. I don't think I'd be able to sleep peacefully ever again for the rest of my life after that. So I figured I'm going to get through that first. Obviously, it is going to be an intense movie. It is rated R. It's, described as an edge-of-your-seat thrill ride, which I can't wait. Obviously incredibly stacked cast. So I figured I'll get the serious stuff out of the way, and then I'll end it with Barbie at 4:10. Keep in mind, a lot of times with movies, they're getting close to like 20, almost 30 minutes of trailers and previews before the movie even starts. So I timed it out like this. In theory, let's say Oppenheimer ends at about 3:30. I'm going to watch Barbie at 4:10. That's about 40 minutes. So I have about 40 minutes to stretch. If I'm going to get a snack, get a snack. I am having a friend of mine coming to see Barbie as well. It's like meet up with my friend, stretch, grab a bite, and go right back into the theater to watch Barbie. And Barbie's almost 2 hours. So I'm planning, about 2.5 for this one, just with the trailers and previews and everything. So I'm thinking it's going to be it's going to be like 6:15, 6:30 by the time I get out of there and go home. So I'm going to spend pretty much my entire Sunday afternoon at the movie theater. I haven't done something like this in a really long time. Actually, this is the first time I've ever done a double feature before, back to back. When The Dark Knight Rises came out in 2012, I ended up going ahead and watching... I went to the midnight screening. I went for the first showing of the day about 11 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m. And then I went later at night. So that was 3 times, but there was a span of about 6-7 hours between each movie. I've never done like a true double feature back-to-back like this. So this is going to be a lot of fun for me. I'm really excited. And let me go ahead and get a quick check here of your weather. You've heard me talking about Barbenheimer long enough. In Fort Lupton, we are currently looking at 91 degrees, a high of 95, a low of 64, sunny skies, wind gusts of up to 3 miles per hour. In Loveland, we are looking at 88 degrees, a high of 95, a low of 67, sunny skies, wind gusts of up to 3 miles per hour. Windsor, we're looking at 84 degrees, a high of 95, a low of 64, fair skies, wind gusts of a whopping 2 miles per hour. And on the home campus of Greeley, we are looking at 89 degrees, a high of 95, a low of 66. Fair skies, wind gusts of a whopping 2 miles per hour. It is going to be hot out there. So if you are going to be out there, wear sunscreen for the love of God. I have a shaved head. I'm going to have to put a lot of sunscreen on. I actually burned the back of my neck this weekend. I was doing some maintenance work on my car. And I tell you, being under a hot car in the sun, even though we had like an easy up to try to cover ourselves, it didn't really do a whole lot, unfortunately. But being under a hot car, you know, the smells of a car, oil, grease, the whole 9 yards. And being in the sun, yeah, no, it was, I'm glad we got the car fixed. It runs even better than it did before. But definitely feeling a little bit of a crispy spot on my neck, so I'm definitely going to be dousing that with sunscreen later on today. Stay hydrated, stay cool. Ice cream, water, Gatorade, just stay hydrated, folks. The heat is no joke. And I will go ahead and let it get back to the music here on AIM Student Radio, the way radio should be. Up next, we got Cult of Personality by Living Color. Enjoy. And welcome back to the Dumpster Fire 3.2, part of AIM Student Radio, the way radio should be. I'm Josh, here with just another busy day here on this Toasty Tuesday. I'm just going to start calling it that until the weather cools off. But it finally looks like, hopefully, we've had a little bit of a reprieve from the rain just because it's been so... Don't get me wrong, I love the moisture. I really do. We needed it. You know, it's definitely been keeping the fire danger down as of late, which was also sorely needed. But that kind of rain, I do not do well with the humidity whatsoever, folks. But I just did want to go ahead and give y'all a quick update here. We're kind of nearing now closer to the end of the summer semester. Going to be kicking it back up in the fall. I will still be here. The show will still continue. I've said before and I'll say it again. This show will continue as long as I am here at Ames. As to what may come in the fall semester, as of right now, I'm not sure yet if it's still going to be a solo affair like I've been doing this summer, or if it's going to be, if I'm going to have a co-host. Right now, everyone has different schedules, you know, and that's just the way life goes. Part of really being successful in this type of work is being adaptable to any and all situations. Obviously, the original incarnation of our show was myself, V, Dax, Jeff. We had the whole booth stacked up in here, and then it's changed over the years. You know, V is in a different place. Dax is also has their own schedule. Jeff has his own schedule. I have mine. It's been an incredible ride so far, and I can't wait to keep bringing this show to you all every week, or at least as close to every week as possible. A couple weeks ago, we took a little breather because of the 4th of July, but I do plan on just continuing the show in some way or another throughout the remainder of my time here at Ames. And I know I've said it before, but I'll go ahead and say it again. Doing these type of things, getting into this line of work, has been an incredible ride, and it's been just so much fun these last few years. Not just finally diving into something that I really wanted to do, but just also to just the friends that I've made along the way, the experiences that I've had. I really wouldn't trade this for anything. Part of me wishes I maybe would have done this sooner, but honestly, had I done it sooner, I'm not sure if I would have enjoyed it as much as I am right now, because when I was younger, there was just a lot of other things in my life that had to get sorted out, and that is a lot of the reasoning as to why it took me so long to get into this. I didn't even jump into this line of work or even this career until 25. By that point, a lot of people have already finished their college careers and they're already well into whatever job they're in. And at that point, I was just barely starting. So in a way, I do feel that there is occasionally, not necessarily looking over my shoulder, but I know that there are other people, a lot of the people in this program even, are a little younger than I am. But at the same time, I feel not so much, how do I say this? I feel more of an increased drive to keep going, because at first I used to see it as, oh no, I'm playing catch up with everybody here's so much younger, and it's like, no, you know what, I feel that, yes, while I may be a little bit older than most of the other students in this radio program, I also feel that because of the experiences that I've had, and just being able to finally get out of that kind of cycle and dive headlong into this, I feel that I'll just enjoy it a little bit more because I've seen both sides of life. I've seen the good, I've seen the bad, and when you're younger, I want to say, because I know in the grand scheme of things, I'm still relatively young. I'm only 27, but you have a different perspective on things, on what you want out of life. I'll even take it back 10 years. What 17-year-old me wanted and what 27-year-old me wants are two totally different things. It's all in the same person. There may be a slight bit of overlap, but in reality, it's two different things. 17-year-old me was dead set on graduating from high school and going into college and becoming a business major and getting married and having kids. I even had a fiance at that time. As ridiculous as that sounds, especially if you've seen me the last few years, the concept of me in a relationship just sounds like, what? This kid was in one? It's like, yeah, I was almost married. Keyword almost. And now 27-year-old me, I want to be happy. And I know that sounds so cliche and so vague, but I want to be happy in whatever I'm doing. Granted, I may not have a job, like a full-time paying job in this field yet, but I know sooner or later I will get there. And in the meantime, I'm happy to keep coming here, doing this show, practicing, honing my craft, and just enjoying the ride. How do I say this? I have it's a much different group of friends than what I used to have in a past life, but they have been extremely supportive and encouraging of everything that I've been doing. And that has been helping out so much. My family as well. They've been at first a little confused, and I'm not going to lie about that. I mean, it is kind of a shock going from, you've spent years on this business degree and now you're going to jump into radio. It's kind of a shock to the system. And I can't say I blame anyone for thinking that. Even nowadays, if I bump into somebody that may not know about the career change that I made over the last few years, it throws them off balance. They're like, wait, you were like the business kid. What are you doing radio stuff for? And it's like, because this is what I really want to do. And honestly, I'm like, I've said it before, I'm just having the time of my life right now. And I just plan on keeping that going and just keeping people around me that are supportive of me. I believe that it's all full circle. Like, I have people that support my efforts. I reciprocate that. I go and support their efforts as well. It can't all be one-sided. It's like, you know what, you help me, I help you. That's just the way that it works, because the fact of the matter is, we can't do this kind of stuff alone. Anyone who says that, honestly, well, I want to know how you did it, but I know for a fact I can't do this by myself. It may be me, right now sitting in this booth on this microphone talking into this thing. But at the same time, there's just a lot of support behind me, and it took a while to kind of garner that support, but I'm appreciative of anybody who does support me in this. I've had friends of mine that have been friends of mine for well over a decade. Now we're going on almost 15 years, and they're supportive of me and my efforts. Like I said, my family, the friends that I've made here in this program at Ames, faculty, staff. I wouldn't trade it for anything. And a lot of people, and there may be this kind of misconception, and I can't say I blame people, because a lot of people ask me, well, are you trying to get famous? And the true answer is, I want the financial stability. I mean, heck, I'll give it to you all straight. I keep it honest with you on the show, and that's not going away anytime soon. Right now, I have a decently paying day job, but it isn't enough. I'm barely making it paycheck to paycheck. I pay for this out of my own pocket because I refuse to take out student loans and go into debt, especially with just how much fluctuation there's been around federal student loans as of late. Like, I'm not even dipping my hands into that. I could, and, maybe have a little bit extra money in my pocket right now, but then all that money is going to go away when I graduate and I have to pay all that back. And I don't want to do that. So if it takes me a little bit longer and I have to, and I'm struggling a little bit, but I'm paying out of pocket and I leave this place debt free, and I've already done it twice, already got 2 certificates. Once I get that degree, it's going to be 3. That is the ultimate goal, to get out of this debt free. And like I said, I want the financial stability, but maybe not so much the fame. I want to be able to provide for myself, for my family, to give them an easier life. I don't necessarily want the giant mansions or the crazy, the giant mansions, the multi-million-dollar cars. But I would like to be able to make the kind of money where I can finally tell my dad, hey, Dad, you don't have to work nearly as much anymore. The house is taken care of. The bills are paid. I want to be able to show my parents maybe places that they just haven't been able to go to, because we've been in this cycle for so long of just always, having to work to keep the lights on, to keep the bills paid, and be able to say, hey, let's go over here for a few days. Let's go to Vegas for a few days, or somewhere in California, just anywhere. That's the kind of thing I want to be able to do. And at the end of the day, I want to be able to use this platform to help others. I had help getting even to this position, and I want to be able to do that for somebody else. If somebody listens to the show and says, hey, this kid, put in the work to be where he's at, I want to do what he did. I want to be able to help somebody out along the way. I always would tell my grandmother, she passed away about a decade ago, but I would always, after she passed, I used to say that if I ever got to reach, some level of decent success, that I would try to start like some kind of scholarship or some way to help kids in her name. And that'll still continue, whether it's, obviously I haven't figured out all the details just yet. Kind of have to get there first, but have it in some kind of way that that this foundation is primarily geared towards kids like me who grew up, with not a lot, having to scratch and claw their way in, and be able to say, hey, you know what? I recognize your hard work. I want to make this next step a little bit easier here for you, so you don't have to do the things that I had to do, whether it's helping to cover tuition or renovating spaces to give people an opportunity to study, to learn, if it's providing just more opportunities to get people to achieve what they want to do and keep them, away from other paths in life. I want to be able to do that. And I feel that at some point I will be able to, because the way I see it, people have been good to me. People have given, it took a long time in some instances, but people gave me an opportunity. And I make the most out of it every single day, every single time that I'm in here. And I want to be able to be that person for someone else, maybe like me, that grew up with not a whole lot, and say, hey, I see your potential. I'm willing to give you an opportunity. I want to be that person, and I feel that I will be. And don't bet against me, because you'll lose. You may see me, oh boy, I'm about to sound really cliche. You may see me struggle, but you'll never see me quit. I always say that if you're coming for me, you best put me in the dirt. Because if I get back up, you'll be sorry. And there's your inspirational message of the day. That is it for today's show. Like I said, it's going to be a little bit of a shorter episode today. It is hot. I got other things I do still have to take care of. Like I said, I got a family to look after right now. I got other things I take care of. And I'll be back next week. It'll be a longer show. We're going to have some fun, and we're going to ride out the rest of this summer semester. I thank you all so much for listening. This was a dumpster fire, and you were all warned. Thank you.